Namaste. My name is Kezia Jacob. I'm 20 years old. I'm a second year BSc Psychology student. I'm here to give a speech on the topic of the relevance of Gandhiji in today's India. Mahatma Gandhi was more than a leader. He was a walking philosophy, a man who wielded no weapons yet toppled an empire, a man who believed that true power did not come from oppression but from truth, non-violence, and self-sufficiency. Today, as we reflect on his values, legacy, and impact, we realize that his teachings are not relics of the past but a blueprint for the future. It was the year 1946 in Noakhali. The land was drenched in fear, echoing with the cries of the innocent at the hands of communal violence. Homes burned, neighbors turned against neighbors. India stood at the edge of a civil war. And in the midst of it all, a frail old man walked barefoot from village to village, carrying no weapon but his belief in Sarva Dharma Sambhavana, the equality of all religion. He stood before the raging mobs and said, "I have come to serve Hindus and Muslims alike. I'm going to place myself under your protection. You are welcome to turn against me." He lived among Muslims, ate food cooked by them, and refused to leave until the hatred faded. When India was on the brink of freedom, Gandhi had a choice: celebrate in Delhi or heal the wounds of Kolkata. He chose the people. While leaders in power negotiated independence, he stayed among those who still suffered, fasting for peace. Compare this to today, where unrest burns in places like Manipur, yet those in power hesitate to walk among the suffering. If Gandhi were alive, would he have attended celebrity weddings while his people cried for help? Or would he have gone where he was needed the most? Where are the leaders like him today, who will walk into the fire, resisting weapons with love? Gandhiji was interested in the idea of minimalism long before it came in vogue. A loincloth, a spinning wheel, and an unshakable belief in justice. This was all he owned. He followed the principles of aparigraha, non-possession, believing that wealth was not meant to be hoarded but shared. Yet today, we live in a world of excess, drowning in things but starving for meaning. The richest 1% own more than the rest of the world combined, while millions struggle for survival. But Gandhi had a radical idea. Wealth is not ownership, it is trusteeship. His vision inspired Vinoba Bhave's Bhutan movement, where landlords willingly gave their land to the landless. And yet, in 2009, Gandhi's simple belongings, his spectacles, watch, and sandals, were auctioned for millions of dollars. A man who gave away everything, a man who would have handed those same items as a gift to someone in need, he was turned into a brand, a commodity to be sold to the highest bidder. Would Gandhi have wanted this? Or would he have asked us to auction our greed instead? To Gandhi, labor was not just work, it was dignity. The weaver, the farmer, the carpenter, he saw them as the foundation of society. He fought for fair wages, respect, and humanity in labor. He knew that exhaustion is just slavery, but in another name. He pleaded for shorter working hours and more leisure time, ensuring that workers were not reduced to machines or beasts of burden. To him, a worker deserved 4 fundamental things: a clean house, a clean body, a clean mind, and a clean soul. His ideals remind us that the economic progress should not come at the cost of exploitation and suffering. Yet, today, we glorify hustle culture while 64% of young employees suffer from workplace stress. We push productivity but forget the people behind it. What kind of a progress is this if it crushes the very hands that build it? Gandhi saw this a century ago.
When will we?
Gandhi's India was not built in skyscrapers. It was spun in villages, woven in self-reliance. He preached Swadeshi, the power of local production and consumption. A self-sufficient nation is a strong nation, he believed. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic, and the world realized that he was right. Global trade collapsed, and countries that depended too much on imports were left helpless. Now India speaks of Atmanirbhar Bharat, vocal for local, MSME growth, organic farming, and rural entrepreneurship. But this is not a new idea. This echoes Gandhi's call for economic independence at the grassroots level. Gandhi's genius was not just in his ideals, but in his deep understanding of people. That is, he was a master of emotional intelligence. He understood that movements are not built on abstract ideas, but on deep human connection. This is why the Salt March was brilliant. Salt is in every Indian home, rich or poor, and so picking up a handful of salt, he united millions of Indians against colonial rule. This ability to connect with the hearts of people, to make every Indian feel like a part of something greater, is what made him truly remarkable. Another interesting thing is, even those who disagreed with Gandhi respected him deeply. For example, Subhash Chandra Bose, despite their ideological differences, honored him as the father of the nation. Bhagat Singh, initially a proponent of direct action, later recognized the power of mass movements, an idea of Gandhi that he had championed long before. This proves that Gandhi was not just a leader for his followers, he was a leader even for his critics. He walked the earth with nothing, yet left behind so many values. His ideas were not just for his time, they are for all time. Sarva Dharma Sambhavana, religious harmony. Aparigraha, sustainable living. Swadeshi, economic justice. Trusteeship, fair wealth distribution. Self-reliance, the strength of a nation. Every single struggle we face today already has an answer in his philosophy. But remembering Gandhi is not enough. We must live his ideals, because when we do, we don't just honor his memory, we create the world he dreamed of. Jai Hind.